Well, welcome to the inaugural episode of my study channel. I should have done this. I should have done this years ago. Back in 2015 when I first. I did actually. That was my homework channel. My first incarnation of the academic video was academic recording was my environmental videos. That was actually a pretty fun class. I enjoyed it, and it taught me a lot about consumerism and how to live as ecologically friendly as possible. Everything gets recycled, everything gets renewed, reduce, reuse of the recycle, and reuse it. So just tossing it. And I hope that future generations continue these aspirations. We are becoming more environmentally sound, but we also are becoming more environmentally yucky. For example, I'm glad there's a rise in the millennials, the so-called me generation, the selfish me generation, because they're posting their works. They're posting things and giving us practical knowledge of how to do things. Like, for example, this can be recycled. This can be recycled. This can be recycled. I have a huge recycling bag down there. As you can see, it's part of cardboard. So there, I picked that cardboard up off the street. So here's what you're supposed to do. When you have cardboard or anything like that, you're supposed to take the tape off. Here, I cannot. You know those envelopes, those old envelopes that have the plastic window on it, that have the plastic address window on it. You have to take off the plastic address window and put then put the paper into the recycling bag in there. So what we just did right now is that's our first episode. I mumbled on about some weird stuff. I have other notebooks that I did the similar thing to. I ripped up the pages because they came by year. They were day planners, but in this case it's just a generic notebook, which is actually, I like it this way because it's not just a day planner, but it's also your address book, your everything book. I have notes in here about naloxone. I have to transfer that somewhere into my real notes. Naloxone. I have my schedules that I wrote down. My basic movies and everything. And when I go back to school in the next few days, I'm going to get this version of this. This is dog-eared because I ripped the cover off. I don't know. I see that the cover gets all bent up and out of shape here, but I ripped the cover off, and then of course it wrecks the integrity, the structural integrity of the cover. And now it's all looks hobo-ish like my shoes. That's because I'm digging in the trash now. I'm scavenging in the trash for bottles and stuff, and sometimes I have the bottles upside down. I have them right side up now in my bag, and they'll spill coffee, Coke. I'm assuming that's coffee/Coke. Coffee came out of my coffee mug that I have in my bag, and therefore, but these are perfectly good for notes. Still, these are perfectly good for notebook paper because you can see it lines up with my my note paper. I'm not kind of student where you have to write down everything, and then it all translates into here somehow. Transcribes to there. These are my papers for me to write down the various clips that I post on YouTube. A bunch of clips from a bunch of. They have season 2 of Disenchantment on right now, so it's good. So I'm gonna add these to my school notes, maybe my test notes, because I'm taking a correspondence class right now for one of my classes is online blended. It's a correspondence class for abnormal psychology. I believe I could use some abnormal psychology assessments. I'm going to go into neurology because I really read the first 4 chapters. Is just blabbering on this book here. It's just blabbering on about reminding us about the scientific method of testing and stuff, and since I suck at math. But you have to actually have math to take bachelors of science and even psychology. You need to have good math because it's not just psychological things, behavior psychological things, but they're also trying to teach you to be a scientist in regards to statistics in hopes that you'll get hooked on it and then go to the master's level and a God willing PhD level and then start generating even more knowledge for this book to be one of these dudes at the bottom. Basically, when you write your final paper in master's or PhD level, this is what it becomes. It becomes one big giant compendium of everything's in your head. So continue going to school or continue doing art or you don't even have to go to school. If you're creative and doing things that you love to do, and you post on YouTube, that's you. Yeah. And I hope that some big giant AI in Cheyenne Mountain in the States, aka Skynet. Cheyenne Mountain is the Sierra at the airport. I think that's what's called. I play a lot of Fallout, so that's what it's referring. I'm hoping I'm referring to the right thing. The Sierra Air Force bunker thing that's containing all the internets, all the computerized internets of the world. Skynet, for example. We're slowly going into AI. Or start using drones and AIs and AI ships and AI planes. So yeah, I'm not sure if Skynet goes crazy or maybe the internet is Skynet and all of our recordings, our physical bodies, spit, boob, boob, hair, no hair. It's all digitized. All of these are just little squares, and not squares, but little dots. And the dots form the glasses, the shape of the glasses. And that's how actually you see. I read that in the psychology class last year. This is the second part of it. This is the first part. That we have retinas that go up, down, angles, all sorts of angles to give us our weird shapes. It's like billions in our eyeball. This tiny little eyeball. There's a computer eyeball right there. This is our biological eyeball. They work the same way. Except this is man-made and this is more better. I look sexy. No, I don't. I look real. Paintings makes you look sexy. But yeah, so what was babbling about? See, that's the thing too about being hardcore in the sciences is that you start babbling about like your textbooks, and you read your textbooks so much, hours and hours on end, and it makes you go batty up here at normal psychology. It makes you go makes you speak as they do, and you start to learn. Start to change your notes. Your writing changes. My handwriting. Well, they still say I have a doctor's handwriting, so. Eventually, when I become a psychologist, a addiction psychologist, one that helps people get off drugs and stuff, and there's nothing wrong with using drugs like alcohol and pot, and I think drugs should be legalized, and it gives us more incentive to have more jobs to help you quit. But who are we? Who's society? Who the hell is society to tell you how? If you're a peaceful drug user, how not to poison your body? Who the hell are we? Who the hell is Health Canada say you can't smoke cigarettes, right? I don't smoke cigarettes, and many Canadians actually going down with smoking because it actually burns the lungs, or they're controlling their drinking. Especially when you get older, you learn to become. Especially when you get older into your 30s, then you figure out you can't metabolize this shit anymore, and you can't party as. You start to age, and when you're in your 40s, or you start to really get alcoholic and drunk, and you get into a depressive old man state, and or whatever. You're still drinking stuff. I think all those toxic social toxic events that are associated with narcotics or any kind of habit is chalked up to being young. When you're 18 and 21, when you're 18 to 25, you don't know how to self-regulate as much, and you feel really good, and then you want more, right? Because you have a human brain. Who wants to feel bad, right? As you can see, I binge on food. That's my addiction. So, yeah, the idea is to enjoy life, but to do it in a healthy kind, like a less hurtful kind of a way that's less toxic. I go for that, actually. sane amounts of drinking, sane amounts of drugging, sane amounts of drinking, drugging, potting, whatever. And if you want, you can abstain from it. And people, there should be special places in parks and in public places, especially parks, where it's far away from the main public, but still in nature. Say, for example, there's a city park and there's a lake there or whatever. In Edmonton, there's a lake there, or there's some trees or some creek or whatever, pond or whatever. They should be a section just for the smokers, away from the main section. You have to actually go around it. And I actually, if I were a pothead, I'd compromise. I'd be happy for that. I'd compromise and say, okay, I won't get in your way. And that's the thing about pot legalization here in Canada. You would think that all the Rastafarians, all the potheads, all the hippies, in my case, I was one of those people back in the 20s, back in my 20s, and a tree hugger, and I still am a tree hugger. As you can see, I took apart that day planner to turn into school notes, reduce, reuse, and recycle. I recycle bottles and I give to charity, or I keep it for myself, or I give it to my sister-in-law. This is pretty much essentially all bottle money and whatever's left in my wallet money, little small bills and stuff, and the amounts like roughly $500. That's gonna go to my sister's education, my sister-in-law's education, and she won't have to pay me back, but it's a gift. But I have to actually start to take care of myself though, because I'm not as young as I was anymore, and I just start saving up, start the basic rudimentary savings to start a home, to start a family of my own, a clan of my own, my contribution to the main Minor clan, especially here in Calgary, citizens, good citizens, and if you treat a kid with love, or music, or any kind of artistic thing when they're younger, and you encourage that, this fucker grows. This fucker really, really grows, and keeps you younger. Because ultimately, all this spaghetti or ramen or whatever the fuck these things got, the little neurons, the little spider webs of neurons, they keep this alive, and this in turn keeps this fucker alive. I want to. So basically, this is my beginning of my study log journals. Like I said, I should have done this earlier. I have with my environmental videos, but that is academic actually. That was for marks. So this is another episode, another continuation of a Gogogan Goes to School. Gogogan, my education videos, and this is just basically a video log of what basically goes through a Chinaman or Asian student's mind. In this case, an Asian student with schizophrenia who blabbles on verbal diarrheically and says stupid shit. But we are smart in here, but sometimes without autism, we don't have the self-regulatory lobes or whatever to control. So we try to stay clean, try to stay tasteful. And if this is just an episode, and if I say something off color, that's just me just rambling on about nonsense. And perhaps I had a late night, and I'm going to give the politician an excuse. Had a late night. I'm stupid, and I'm ashamed of being stupid. So that's why I go to school. Change my attitudes. This experience at Full Valley College, I never experienced anything like this at Mount Royal. But I hung around the Indigenous Student Center, and I have to say I went native. Another video. I had a classmate. He still studies there, but we kind of avoid each other because I know that I gave him $100. Him and Patrick, another classmate. Him and another classmate. I won't say his last name. Paid this guy $100 for ingredients. To supply ingredients. This is not pot. This is actually sage. It's never sage. But he got it in the wrong attitude. He's supposed to give tobacco as an offering, or go and pick it yourself, or have good intentions to pick it. He had commercial intentions to sell it, and that's a big taboo in Indigenous culture. It's from the heart. It's a gift that you. It's an intention that is good to use for good reasons, so I can't use this at the Nikukan. I can't use it here at home either. I do have the sage equipment. I do have smudging equipment, and although this is not authentic, it's not a willow stick. It's not authentic, but it's my own stick, so I'm going to bring it to the Nikocon, and I'm going to be using it for myself purpose. It's not the Nikocon stick, and I'm going to start using this there because they had a willow stick there, but it was all charcoaled and starting to fall apart, so they couldn't use it anymore. So you're not supposed to blow when you use sage. You're not supposed to blow on it. You can fan it, you can fan it with your hand, but you can also poke around it to make sure that it burns properly and it's the poking stick. And it's not willow, so it's not authentic. But in this house, it'll be willow. It'll be authentic. And I'm making myself a yurt. I'm gonna get myself a yurt, and when I eventually move, I'm gonna transplant some of the garden plants. Maybe transplant some of the garden plants, and eventually when we sell the house, I'm going to transplant sell it as is. No, I'm going to transplant some of the trees in the backyard, and so say nurture those trees. We nurtured those ponies that my grandpa planted. He's now departed, so we're going to transport that with us to a new house as well. When we sell this house and Mom eventually moves out. This house, we're in that phase of where we're just living here and renovating it, keeping the house tidy and modernized and modernized to live in. And I think we're going to gank this carpet. So, but in my case, I'm just going to live here a couple more years after graduation to earn more money for my to continue upgrading my education, because that's going to be a huge thing in the family finances. And I think I still qualify for some disabled student grants as well. So that'll kind of help my education out as well, and I'm also good for scholarships. And eventually, I'm going to try and go back to U of C to become a dino and take a bachelor's of something. So I have that dream still. The Japanese government has removed its upper limit for education. So I'm thinking that if I'm 65, that's the current retirement age, work for 8 years, I'll be 73ish, so I'm still a young'un, 83. I'm still pretty much, all my kids are all grown away, and the first round of pets are across the Rainbow Bridge. Then I go back to school. My wife is pretty much accessing her retirement from working, and I would like to continue just taking some general studies classes just for fun, the non-vocational ones just for fun, and get a bachelor's degree in that. All the bachelor's degrees starting over again, and head to Japan, become an ESL teacher for 5 years, earn some more retirement bling, and bring it back. I mean, if I see my dad, my dad's much more fatter than I am. Well, no, he's not, because he actually had to take care of himself this summer because he was on his way out. He almost died because of a heart stroke, or one of those cardio distress. So in that case, he had to super take care of himself, and which he did, and he actually lost a lot of weight. So I got super take care of myself too, because I really want to join the Navy. I like ships, and I hear the Canadian Navy started to order some new ships to replace the old ships in the 90s that don't work anymore. The Cold War era ships that don't run anymore. The engines are all melted, and which is good too, because that's what you're supposed to do. I mean. And then what you do is you gank the ship, so all its electronics, all its toxins, and then you submarine it. Use it for submarine duds, and it becomes coral, and it becomes a home for more creatures. So I see these stinkle suckers creating new life forms and new corals and I'm glad that the barrier reef is not dead. And some of it has been revived because of its emergency, but I mean, it's terminal. humanity is terminal. This planet Earth, our life is terminal. We can do things to repair it, but we could probably scientifically figure out how to retain the hydrogen in this planet to keep the planet from going keep this planet going for another 500,000 years or whatever. I don't know. I didn't take that class yet. I would like to take that class. I would like to learn how to maybe take an introduction class in environmental science or something, so I can figure out so I can teach my kids how to become more environmentally sound. Back in the 90s, so yeah. So this is the intro episode of the the study. I had candles, but there's no space for candles anymore. I mean, I could see some of you girls, you're studying something, someplace very good smelling, nice furniture in the back, ambient music, and just studying. But my desk is a pretty hard, boring desk. It's pretty hard, boring. This is where I film most of my videos, where I fix things too, like fix the. Like I said, keep things running. That's the Chinese way too. There's an old saying, the China. Well, this is from the 1800s, so it's a little bit pejorative, but it said the Chinaman can live like a prince for 3 cents a day. This is why we tend to use things over and over again, like this pencil, and we tend to use resources over and over again, until they totally break, and the ghost is given up until they all like disintegrate. Until they all like disintegrated, like this dude here, like that. But I don't think it can survive another semester. It's pretty much little plastic threads are holding this, because this has the cover, right? So this has the cover. We're talking about environmentalism. Let's go open up this thing here. It's a sunny day too. What the hell? Why didn't I have my window open? I usually have the windows and everything open for my Sunday time. So that's the first episode of my Uncle Gogogan studies, and in case you kids want to know what studying is like, this is it. I'm sure you kids have some kind of thing you could just VR implement. We put some wires in your brains, and you guys able to study more. Ooh, I'm gonna have to try this. Okay, this is gonna be my menu for self-care. Makami College is now open in Calgary. They used to be in Edmonton. Now it's a spa college to teach the arts of spa. Oh, teach the arts of massage, spa. Oh boy, I need to get this shit off my face. I mean, the past few semesters was very rough on me. I'm glad my classmates are offline, in regards to not hunting me down for help. So I'm going to block him on Facebook on my phone, so he can't find me. But now I can. Now that I've studied the bulk of my studies, the huge chapter reads in this it's like textbook. The next chapter read is 40 pages. It's 20 pages double-sided, large textbook, and it's going to be double-columned, like any other science textbook. Ouch. And I think I'm doing a academic read of what is it here? Because it's Pride Week or Pride Month or whatever. Always the first few days or first few weeks and periods back, they have Pride stuff out. So this one is called Two Spirit, and Two Spirit Journey, written by Elder Manisha Chakabi, a Chippewa Cree elder who's two-spirited. So the first few chapters is about her early life, her heritage, her ancestral heritage, where her parents, ancient, not ancient because it's just maybe 60 years ago. But yeah, perhaps I would like to learn about neurology to keep when I go back to school, learn about neurology and keep the old coconut alive. Maybe maybe work for a few years in human services, but try to take a neurological approach and figure out, because that's one thing that really interests me is the brain science, the mind science. Because actually that's you. It would really be cool if we were able to. So I'm gonna try and read this and put this on my Goodreads that I've learned about it. See, in this case, is on my mother. She's talking about her mother, who was us. In this case, her mother was her mother was living in a tribe in tribal land in the middle of southern Ontario. This is pretty much the core world. This is pretty much the core of the Cree territory, and it goes into a little bit of Alberta. Encompasses Saskatchewan, goes into Alberta, especially the Métis. The Hudson's Bay Basin, which pretty much is all of eastern Canada. Quebec most here is the Mohawk territory, the Anishinaabe territory, the Six Nations, the Six Flint Nations. The Hurons, I believe, are the Iroquois are maybe. I don't know. I forgot. I have to read that. I have to read up on that again. I do know that the Sitapi are southern Alberta, northern Montana, like a triangle kind of a shape that goes up to Red Deer. Well, it went up to Edmonton, but I think maybe perhaps they're displaced and then the Crees came. But it's Cree/Edmontonian, Cree/Blackfoot territory, I think. I have to double check. And I believe the Sioux, when they were expelled from the U.S. after Custer's genocidal rampage and the settlement of the West, I think the Sioux settled in spots of Alberta, Saskatchewan, they settled there, and I believe the Dene, a branch of the Dene people, Beaver branch, broke off, somehow made it down here to very far, down here to west Calgary. Yeah, Western Calgary. They have a huge nation called the Setuna, which is connected to Calgary. And I hope they don't build the Springbank Dam, because the Springbank Dam will destroy much of the land and much of farmers' land too. We need as much farmland as possible. So I'm hoping that if they do try to build a Springbank Dam, that they make provisions for some reservoirs or some kind of provisions to prevent land from getting flooded, too overly flooded. But so far the shovels haven't been gone to the money has been implemented, but it hasn't been the shovels haven't gone to the ground yet. And there's also Site C that's still contested by the Indigenous of BC as well. We just need to decide if we're going to use these resources for energy purposes or water or agricultural purposes. We got to figure out ways to not displace more people, because this is their ancestral home. This is their family farm or whatnot, and this is the core of their cultural their familiar culture as well. So this is just my thoughts on politics, thoughts on just basically as a citizen, as a concerned citizen that's slowly getting education, because you can't just learn about everything in the world. And this is me. I'm trying to make things fair. I mean, this is why I'm getting educated, so I can learn to be more productive and get more money and donate more money to alternatives. And there are alternatives out there. We can't just hack and slash this planet anymore, especially in regards to people living there. So, and there are alternatives. So hopefully Alberta's smart enough to take them, and hopefully I get into a position of power, educated power, that I am not an expert, but a concerned citizen, because I want, because as a human service, one of the main reasons why people do drugs, and according to Gabo Mate, a healer in BC, a doctor Gabo Mate in BC, is that and his daughter down there, his daughter is doing working with the indigenous in Temple of the Way of Light, an ayahuasca clinic run by indigenous and non-indigenous down there in Peru. They say that a lot of times, a lot of the hurting in the world comes from our boneheaded mistakes. We try to do the best we can, we try to use this fucker right here to do the best as we can, but we can't. Sometimes we make a lot of mistakes, It's not as if we are schizophrenic enough to hear a voice of God anymore telling us to do this, do that, do that. I think they gave up on us. Or they're like the teacher who says, I had this teacher last semester, where she said, Casey, I gave you all the information you need. Just go ahead and go. She got frustrated, and I got scared because I didn't know what the hell to do, so I had to actually do the assignment. And a lot of older students have that. A lot of us older students, a lot of younger students too, tend to have that problem too. We tend to get freaky if we don't have the. It's like learning how to ride a bike. You have the training wheels on, and then you start riding for a while, and then your body starts getting used to it. And all of a sudden, the training wheels magically go up. That's what happened to me. I was riding for a while on training wheels, just going rumble, 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 just learning the neuromuscular positioning of how to keep balanced. Just the right or wrong ass on one side of the seat of the bike versus the other ass cheek on the other side, that kind of thing. The legs are just folded in. So basically you can learn yourself to do movements of all sorts: dancing, break dancing, ballet dancing, kung fu, grass walking. If we could just get the right amount of acetylcholine to zap the right muscle, right? And then we use that. This all magically gets calculated up here through your. I forgot what it was called. Through movement lobe. Through a movement lobe. I believe it's called the motor cortex. Oh, I thought it was a lobey thing. Oh, a bunch of lobes are related to lobes are related to all the five senses. So your five senses gotta be intact to figure out your GPS in the world, I guess, and it all translates into not the hippocampus, the thalamus. Thalamus? Please say it's thalamus. It is thalamus. There we go. See, inside the brain, inside this bean brain thing, is the thalamus, the lower part of the brain. This stuff at the bottom controls your puking, your breathing, your life support. Thalamus is inside the middle of this thing, and then this outside this walnut-looking thing is walnut-looking, physical walnut-looking thing contains all your memories, all that higher stuff, and translates all the sensory information. There we go. The midbrain connected to the hippocampus. The hippocampus connects to the corpus callosum, connects the two brains of your head. All this gooey stuff here contains all your sex drives and all your other weird stay alive drives, such as your VTAs. There's somewhere. because that's very pertinent to be in the addictions world, because that contains the CTA, this other reward pleasure center of the brain, contains all this cool stuff that makes life fun. Say, masturbate, internet's for fun. Gamble, masturbate, eat food. This calculates all the different. I don't know. We'll find out when we get a master's degree in psychology, neurology, I guess. Wow, it's like a little planet. It's not a universe in there. Maybe it is, and all our neurons are living star systems. Think of that. Billions of brain cells in the galaxy. Billions of neurons when we're born, which slowly shows up to making us forgetful adults. The hem and ha, and focus. I'm sure that if you're a psychologist, you're not going to be a cardiologist, you know. And if you're just a cardiologist, which was one of my which was my uncle's cardiologist. He's retired now, I bet. A cardiologist living in Arizona. My other uncle is a economic audiologist, a money maker living in Toronto. And that's me, a keep yourself alive while sanely doing drugs ologist. Like I said, we've lost the war on. This is just me mumbling on, but we've lost the war on drugs. We can't police it anymore, because in the 80s there was a game called Narc, and you're just basically two heavily armed cops trying to kill all these drug lords and drug dealers, and just going with machine guns blowing shit up, and that's Narc. And it's more subtle than that, because you actually have to infiltrate these gangs. For example, on Bloodsport, what they didn't tell you in Bloodsport was that that wasn't the Frank Dux character, because he was a narco cop. He was a narco cop, so he was trying to infiltrate the gangs of the drug gangs of Hong Kong, the heroin gangs, and that's what he did. The Hong Kong government really has to start cramming in on. They can't just say the Hong Kongers have a there's no second take, because of the cinema culture, the cinema industry in Hong Kong, aka Hong Kong Fu movies. The Hong Kong cinema it has that take one, take two, and then their take one, take two anti-drug campaign was there are no second takes in life. You can't say cut, and then you go cut, and you clip the board down, the cut board down. That means cut. That means cut it. So it's for the editor. And I don't edit my videos. You're actually seeing what's me. Acne zits and all, acne warts and all. Future genital warts maternal. So therefore, the camera is here, the screen is up there. So basically, what happens is the Hong Kong government has to concentrate more on harm reduction and poverty reduction to get rid of drugs in Hong Kong, and kill off a major because what you can do is you can reduce the demand for drugs by providing drug care, safe drugs, and providing a drug care. But I digress. It's time for our study session. We're just basically going to run because it's an online class, online modules and whatnot. We're going to run those. Then we're going to do the assignment, the medicine rule assignment. One of the assignments of the medicine rule assignments is to go and do a bunch of journals. I want these journals back, and I hope that hopefully that Marcus will give me these journals back, because they go to my notes, they go to my archives of education, and I plan to buy. I don't know where to store all these. All my artifacts. Maybe I write the next Harry Potter or whatever, and I'll turn my old house in Kirkness into a me museum before I could just store all my shit and all my junk when I get back, recycle when I reincarnate back, and then I just go, hey, I know that because eventually I don't really need all this cool bling. And oh, this is a new ID card. They took my old ID card, which is actually made me look, which was actually dull and made me look dumb. But I guess this new one here actually has my new has the pink triangle down there. That's this thing here. I made this. I have an ally. I have a friend who's an ally in ally in school, and this is all just me, my handprints, all fingerprints and a Swiffer. This is all just basically a Swiffer. What I should have done was just grab a towel, but I Swiffered this instead. Swiffer cleaned this instead, and I left all this streaky goo everywhere. So I'm gonna grab isopropyl next time. At the end of the semester, just give this thing a good scrub. Maybe halfway, maybe around October when I cut off all my studies. So yeah, she's a German girl, and she's got a lot of she's very much human rights supporting. So in this case, she was reading about the gays the Holocaust victims who are gay, the pink triangles. I would be black because I would be disabled, amoral, a freak, the freak category, or maybe Asian, maybe under. But I'll definitely be a freak category because I'm disabled, amoral because I don't really fit in, kind of thing. And that's strange because in Nazi Germany they wanted such a perfect, not just racially perfect, but they also wanted a socially perfect society. It's kind of like how you watch those '80s cartoons and you have some kind of weird wizard who's saying I want the perfect society, or Lord Farquhar I wanted the perfect society, or one just basic weirdo perfection and want to micromanage everything in a homicidal maniac kind of a way. Murdering genocidal maniac kind of a way. So this is actually pretty much in reality. So this is pretty much for example, Peter Sellers was one of the last ones who lived in France. He lived in France at the time, and the French government had a huge record of people who were gay. And then when the Nazis took over France, they got this information because of the new authorities. They locked him and some others up, and then they sodomized him in the prisons, and all this other crazy shit happened in there, experimentations and whatnot. And he and the gay when they after the war, when Germany was trying to repair its image, they didn't necessarily apologize to the gay community or we compensated them. So they lost all their jobs. They lost all their jobs. They lost all their money and all their hard work they put in being legal, loyal citizens of the country, working, paying taxes, being nonviolent, being helpful, just being a good human being, a decent human being, an excellent human being, and everyone's an excellent human being if they serve their communities and not trying to hurt us all. So in this case, they got pretty much blammed up, and they blammed up, beat up, blammed their shoulders or whatever. Sodomized Peter Sellers, for example. Not Peter Sellers. Peter Sellers is the actor, the British actor. Salas? I forgot what it's called. French Nazi gay. Peter somebody. Peter Seal. There we go. Peter Seal was the last remaining of them, and he died in 2005. He got nothing after the war. He got nothing here. Anti-Semitic laws. Homophobic attacks, these and 60s and he was roughed up in his life that he wanted to try and become homeless, and Yeah. So, I myself am not gay, but I do support the LGBTQ. I didn't go this year to the Pride Parade because that's the thing about Calgary is they have different weathering systems in different parts of the city, and it was raining that morning really bad. So I figured in my head that 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 the downtown was pouring as well. And because I was taking free classes, I'm taking free classes this semester. One of them is abnormal, so that's psychology. One of them is the medicine book class, and the third one is the family studies, which you actually have to learn about. Family studies for professionals. We actually have to learn about the how, if we were to help the family units, which is the ultimate unit of any of society, it's one person family, one person households can actually be a family. They're they're a macro cell. They're a micro cell of they're a micro cell of the society at large, divided into different units. And they yeah, people living inside of a house, maybe an apartment, or maybe with pets even. But basically, this their methodology of their organizational methodology of living together or living apart, but by itself. That's also family too. For example, in the case of a religion, the family is the congregation, or just a bunch of friends. Just a bunch of friends, school chums, workmates. That's also that's a cast. A cast of a work cast, a TV cast kind of thing. It's also a family. I'm watching the show, binge watching the show, How I Met Your Mother, and on it has hmm, on it has the young adults living together. So and they consider themselves a family and stuff for really close friends, kind of thing, and that's cool. And that's what I try to slowly expand my family and meet friends out there in the outdoor world, and sometimes some friends stay, sometimes some friends go, and like I said, I'm going to start to unblock Martin from Facebook and phones, and see who wants to come out to watch a movie with us. We know that he's going to be moving back to Ontario because he has a daughter there, so he's recovered from alcoholism on the streets as well, and he worked his way up through with my help as well. He worked his way up through, but mostly through his own potency. He was able to work his way out from alcoholism, from the streets, and he and also good things happened. He became a speaker for addictions, of how he was able to recover, and him and his comrades in the addictions program. I can't say which because I don't know which, but it's not my place to say either. Also, our classmates, and they also bonded together in this program as well. So I like to help them finish that, and I have my own posse. Like I'm a part of a friend group. We call ourselves the best friend squad from Shira. Shira. And the more friends you have, the physical friends you have, the more you stay alive. So I suggest not staying so isolated. It's good to be introverted, yes, but you should have some close people to keep you going out. And now that the main bulk of my education is done for this first semester, it was very hectic because every time you come back to school, it all just comes back at once. But then it slowly tapers off. So I suggest you kids in the future take 3 classes at a time, or in my case 2, because 3 is a bit much for me. 4 is impossible, but 3. This gives you a chance to do extracurriculars, socialize a little, and get some good rest. You learn better when your brain, not when you're just cramming information in here, because you learn much better. It goes into one big black hole, but the more at ease you are, the more less cortisol you are, the more all this pink shit in your head grows. More cortisol in your brain has when you're all stressed out at work or stressed out in life. This stuff melts, and then you become dumber because there's less neuronic memories. So keep this until we can figure out how to. We're using diet right now, diet and exercise right now, to keep this coconut alive. Omega-3s, brain foods. I'm gonna start binging on the ginkgo biloba. Now that I'm a real student now, I'm gonna start needing this fucker right here. Until I'm in my late 80s, you kids have all the money. Because what the hell do I need the fucking money for? I'm like an old man. Like, I'm turning into an old man right now. I'm dad light, but he's doing pretty good. Like I say, he's more thinner now because he had to change his diet. Otherwise, he'll die. And he's got a daughter to take care of. Your great grandniece, great grand aunt. Michelle, somewhere her genes are in the system somehow, or she has my genes, or she has our genes, or whatever. But she's in the bloodstream, the main bloodstream that's us. This is how we carry culture. Everything we've learned becomes spaghetti ramen, and everything we recognize in life, our recipes, our relationships, all become ramen, and the ramen kind of produces cells, I think, and then it somehow goes through the DNA, educated through the DNA, and like I said, problems in life, the demons that we pass to children, go through that way. So try, if you can, try to get some hangovers. You can't do all. You can't fix all of our family's problems, all of your family's problems. Whoever's watching this. Not know who's watching this, or whoever's watching this on YouTube, And you can't do it throughout humanity unless you're taking lots of ayahuasca, and perhaps that's how you clean up our DNA, or the Greek gods or Irish gods or whatever space gods from the sky people come down and fix our DNA, or Skynet, I don't know, plops us into a vat of goo, and the vat of goo cleans us out, resets everything. But until then, what we can do is, eat the omega-3s. And I gave my sister-in-law some money, her allowance, not her allowance, but her money to go back to school. And she's going to be buying some omega-3s for us. I have to give my e-wife, your mother, money for her pendant. The thing is, the sweat, because it's a necklace, right? This stuff, uric acid, aka sweat, is part of uric acid. It's very caustic. So, I mean, my letter opener, because I touched it over the years multiple times, my letter opener is starting to change color up here. This used to be silver, like this used to be like really bronze, not bronze, but bronze. No, brass. This used to be brass colored. Now it's all just silver colored, because silver steel colored, because the brass, the sweat, just ate it up. And if I try to clean it with a rag, which I do sometimes just to declog it, it takes the cover off, and that's what happens with loonies. It happens with coins. So, okay, so that's just my thoughts, just my random stream of thoughts. If you guys ever want to know what's inside of an autistic person's head, you can't really cut open. Our science textbook says you can't really cut open a person's head. You can only observe their reactions, realize that this is perhaps genetic, but through commonality of other autistic people, and we tend to ramble on about stuff, and we tend to also not like it when people start to ramble to us. Isn't that hypocrisy? That's the finest definition. Define autism, define hypocrisy. No, but yeah, I had a friend. He's living in New York now. He used to be part of the Star Trek club. He used to be part of the Star Trek club. He used to be part of the the archers club of the anachronism here, and I'm gonna look into going into that, take up anachronism and become Night Boy, Night Man. Our country so far is not the. It used to be a baron called the Baron of Arony, and it used to be based on the old. Let's see, Avakel. We used to be the Calgary area used to be called the Baron of Avonny or something, or Barony of SCA. This is this SCA Society of Creative Activities Anachronism. SCA. It's basically trying to recreate modern middle Europe. Here you go. Kingdoms. Artisima. What? Oh, this is America. This is America. What Canada? What? So you basically just dress up. This is based on realism. There are role-playing LARPers out there who also do this kind of thing, to use magic and pretend that they're elves. So that's also fun too. I have to figure out who they are, because those seem more fun than the boring ass. You can also anachronize World War II, reenact. Civil War, especially World War II. Japanese and Chinese love to reenact ancient battles. Barony of Montegrand. Here we go. Okay, see, the Barony of Montegrand is part of the kingdom of Guiguigua, Dragon Slayer. What? Anachronism. This is realism. This is not fantasy. What? But like I said, he used to be part of SCA. So this autistic fella, Tim, used to be part of the SCA. He now moved on to moved out to be live with family in New York, as he's teaching archery. He's also doing what he likes doing, teaching archery and trying to recreate ancient ways of building creating archery. He also helps out on his farm, being a salvager, trying to salvage old farm stuff to sell for the family. Basically being very entrepreneurial. And I'm slowly starting to get entrepreneurial up here too as well. This my videos, for example, I use that to expand my explorations of the planet, and I'm going back to giving blood again. I'm going back to giving blood. I find out that I'm now qualified to give blood again. That's still my wacky art videos. Like I said, in regards to politics, and you can't really control the politics of the grand cultures, the grand countries, but you can be an active citizen, doing whatever it is that you do. And that's what enriches the world. This is your world. This is your interpretation of it. And hopefully, through my education and my future donations, I can keep on donating to causes in the third world, especially women causes. Or I'm buying a bunch of fair trade soap this Christmas, this winter, to keep a commune of unscheduled people from India who's been persecuted all their lives to keep on growing. I'm also going to be donating money to Auroraville so they can continue their construction of their city and their society. More diversity is much needed in this planet. In my case, this is my world. This is my projects and stuff. And just basically ruling the world from this desk, doing good deeds and whatnot. And that's what we do. So yeah, we're coming up to our hour mark of best babbling on. This is just a blog of one of my first video blogs. I need to get more. I need to either learn how to compress these videos here to make more space, and compress those videos to make more space, and by then it should be filled up. So this is at least 10 years worth, 2012. So roughly almost 10 years worth of info. 2011, this thing was born, made in China, 2011. So I'm going to start to get more of this. This has actually lasted 10 years. Perhaps I'm going to get something to replace this, because this thing, the disk, is using the old disk drive. So we're using microchip drives now, but that's not as efficient as this. Eventually there will be, and then we don't need to use this shit anymore, and this bulky shit anymore. But that's the old. And also I have my old data sticks. See, the data sticks are also those are mostly for my homework. So hopefully I can start to earn a lot of money and start to use that money to improve life here in Calgary and Alberta. Write stuff, continuing to rebuild the Indigenous world, rebuild the world for all the Albertans, but especially Indigenous people. They've had it the worst, I mean, we built our society on their bones, and it's about this time the children here the children of that crime make amends, and by making amends, we help them rebuild their own world. And this is good for the economy too, because you have more healthy spenders, more healthy brains, more creative minds that are productive it's basically nurturing your own body, and it keeps this fucker alive. If you think of that in a metaphysical kind of metaphorical way of society at large, think of more brains keeping the city alive, a brain alive, keeping the indigenous culture alive, just for a while longer, or full restoration. It won't be full restoration because a lot of the information was damaged. But if we keep the elders alive, so they can start disseminating their knowledge, such as Leroy Little Bear of Lethbridge, Nitsitapi, or the ones I'm going to. If I plan to do my practicum over at Sunrise, and then the other one at HIV Link. Basically anywhere that keeps the humans alive, keeps them from jumping, keeps them from using self-destructive levels of their habit instead of enjoyable levels of their habit. Like I said, I'm for use of drugs. I'm not abstinence until the day you can figure out that you don't need them anymore. That's a beautiful day. Then you choose, not us choose. You choose when to quit drinking, when to quit smoking, or smoke less. Basically, we want you to find alternatives to add to your repertoire of being awesome, alive, in you being you. So if you like alcohol, I have a wife. I said no beer. She said yes beer. I drink beer too as well. Just that we have to drink sane levels of beer, not I am Bubba, I'm going to beat up my wife levels of beer. Or I am angry mom, and I'm going to drink up. Not that my parents were, but a lot of my clients are. I heard them. I volunteered at the Mustard Seed a lot, or the drop-in center, and that's what they told me. People they come here looking for refuge, but they have no homes because of the huge deluge of humanity coming into Calgary, which turned us from being a small prairie city into a lower level metropolis. So hopefully I can continue to volunteer work, make Calgary a better place to live, which makes one of the many communities on planet Earth. One of the terms alpha. Minimal terms alpha. What's it? Planet Earth alive. So we're going to be doing our studies right now. So we've got our notes here. And hopefully I do well on this online at-home test, and it's an open book test, so it should be pretty easy. Okay, so yeah, that's gonna be the first episode of Global Dream Studies, and like I said, a lot of you hardcore students out there who are really studious. Because I'm handicapped, I do have my limitations, and one of them is being a dorky dork, not a super smart nerd. And some of these students are out there who are very privileged, not by gender, not by ethnicity, well that too, but also because the economy is improving, and more people. That's the whole point of being social work is to give more privileges, to elevate more humans to positions of privilege so they can have an easier go at life. This is my take on it. And I plan to reincarnate as many times as possible. Well, if the higher uppers let me, but until this planet is, because I pour so much effort into this planet, I have to see it through. A lot of my classmates they did study well, but through circumstances, economic circumstances or self-esteem circumstances, where their brains just fried because of the extra hardcore studies needed to learn was very, very overwhelming, and some of them quit. That's the sad thing. I'm one of the last remaining people of my. I think I am the last remaining student of my cohort, 2016 cohort. So I just have basically 3 more classes this semester, 3 more classes next semester, and 2 more classes, and that should be about it. And then I can actually go to real university. Well, not saying the full college is not real, but it's an entry level. It's an entry level. It's the anti-chain. Well, no, that's insulting to them. They're bonafide for secondary school, and hopefully the programs become more accredited. But it's good to be. Well, it's very interesting to be part of the original. The second class of this program, addiction studies. Addiction studies. They should have more indigenous elders' input, perhaps from the industry itself, from Sunrise or the Nietzsche, or whichever elders are necessary to teach the necessities of. And they should have more indigenous flavor themes in the justice program as well. As you can see, I'm very lethargic, very wheezy of breath because I have asthma and fat. But those things will improve. And the only thing that won't improve is my hair. As you can see, I've lost more hair coverage than the past 5 years of my videoing, and that sucks. I pretty much don't even need a razor anymore. By now I would have had a full thing in the back, but I don't. That's pretty much. And this last stuff is dying up here, so hopefully the genetic science can figure out how to fix hair, how to make us younger, so we can continue studying, or basically add more information to make humans stronger, make us more efficient, make our countries more efficient. I think I'd like to go to a desert country next, or desert community next, to learn how to keep a fine balance of growing fauna for that community, plant life, fauna, trees and stuff, but also keeping the desert as well. Australia can be a beautiful country to it's got biodiversity, it's got plant life and plant growth and whatnot. The Iceland are starting to grow more, restore their forests and stuff that they've chopped down over the years. Restore their forests. It's going to be a very big boost on cleaning the air out. Once I kind of get a house of my own, then I kind of start planting plants. And if I could get my hands on the old house in Edmonton, turn it into a museum for my stuff. The official archives of our family. And if I can find out, because I'm thinking about, like I said, in the family class, in the medicine world class, I was asked to think about my family in regards to where I come from and stuff. And it's an ancient story also that in my last assignment I did like a few weeks ago. I handed in like to what last week. Um, the story is that a part of the indigenous culture is their connection to their culture, to the land, to the existential bases base that is culture, land slash them. We are made out of dirt. All this dust in the house that I'm choking on right now is actually filth from my own body, sand from my own body, sand from my mom's body, sand from the cat's body, outside sand from fires and stuff, and just basically opening up the door, whatever's on my clothes at the time, and I come in, and I take them off, and I switch into these are indoor clothes, but they're also covered in big ocean of sweat of dust. It's the dust in this computer right now. I need to get that out. This dust on this dust, study dust, eraser bits, pencil bits. Graphite turns pencil. Graphite's cool. It's actually the crap you scrape off the crap you can scrape off the smudge bowl, which I plan to do actually. I plan to scrape that crap off. No, yeah, actually you can, because if you don't, it needs a layer of charcoal on it to keep the fires from burning the shell. I was thinking of keeping the pencil shavings from these and using them and setting them on fire with all that other stuff, but keep the pencils. And I have a jar. I have a jar over there, up there, where it's all my pens that have been sacrificed for the for my education these past 2 years. That's a lot of pens, a lot of paper. So if I actually imagine doing that, getting finishing up my master's degree. I'm sure you kids have computerized tablets and stuff by now, and it's all stored. But I don't know. I like to store things. I don't know. I'm from the old analog world where I used pens to scribble down notes and stuff. I never really did this, and my idea was to use up all the paper in the house that has been sitting there for like maybe a decade or so with me not going back to school, and Justin finishing his college and not going back to school. And so I just basically said, okay, we use up all the pens, use up all the paper, and then lo and behold, I use up all the paper and pens. So this is actually secondary paper that I got, and Mom just got me a bunch of packs of paper over there. So that's the studying world. I know this video is very dry, but studying is a dry world. This is how you succeed. This is how you get the money. This is how you guys speak of when you guys graduate and go to university, go to Cancun and everything. This is where it all comes from. I plan to save up some of my money for my kids' travels too. I mean, I would like you guys to see. I had the blessed opportunity to see this planet, to at least some places, at least once. I went multiple times to Vancouver and to Edmonton. So went to Vancouver Island just maybe once to BC, and if I can keep my dad healthy and keep serving, I'll block this other John person, John Lampe. But it's a magical world. They promised me not to tell anyone where it is. But if you're a family member or a good friend, then you would know. Because they want to keep it beach Nazi. No, beach Nazis were a surf Nazi. The concept of surf Nazi was their surfers are very territorial of their particular spot on the beach, a particular spot, because they don't want environment. They don't want more people to come and wreck the environment because people litter. They might not have the same reference of nature as they do. There's lots of places on this planet. I mean, I ask people. They post pictures of where they live, and it's like paradise in the mountains of Utah or in mountains of the Northeast. They keep on saying, "Where do you live?" And they keep on winking at us, saying, "We're not telling you. This is paradise." Until we learned how to take care of nature, and like for example, Llama Island is one of those places, paradise. and people don't like it when tourists come in. Well, tourists do come in, but more of them are speculators coming in for rent and stuff of the lower cheap but Lam Island was beautiful, and it's it's my place. I don't have any reason to go back there anymore, though. I blocked. I did a bunch of blocking this summer and this early fall because I was in a dark place. But I don't think I would be applying these toxic people anymore because they don't really pay attention to me. Martin maybe just for the purpose of watching a movie with him, but I'm not gonna be helping on his class. He's on his own power now. And that's the thing about being a student is that they not only are you a student, but this is not school. This is actually a training facility to train you to learn about being professional. It's a business. School, a post-secondary school is a business. It's teaching you how to be a business person, teaching you how to be busy, teaching you the responsibilities that you need to represent the school in a good light, but also represent your profession in a good light too. It's a professional training. It's an academy. It's an institution. It's government funded or private. Most universities are very private, but it's not a place where you can go to party. This is a place where you're supposed to go and learn the skills you need to. It's basically, think of it as the ship, as the auto factory or the ship, and if it pops out cars, it pops out ships, right? And before you're launched on your own and on the highway, before you're launched on your own highway or out there to sea, you need to, where you're far away from other ships and other oceans and people, and where you're deep in the woods or deep in the highway or deep in the desert, deep on the Route 66. What you gotta do when you're supposed to have provisions and stuff like any other travel thing. You gotta have a few days worth of provisions, especially water. So throw in some Gatorade, not rot, but throw in some water. Throw in some water bottles, or bring a water bottle with you. Bring some warm blankies with you. Put that all in the back trunk too. Apparently, so because they drive around the city, but if you're traveling outside, then yeah, that's the rule of nature. Because Mother Nature's a crazy bitch. Especially if you live in a third world country, like they see China, a second world country like China, a developing country like emerging country, emerging economy. Yeah, emerging economy. That's more. In the world of PC speech, especially when you're working with people who are enabling. It shouldn't be called disability studies anymore. It should be called enabling studies because we're enabling another citizen to live life on their own. And we're teaching them skills, and we're actually winning because we're actually learning the neurology and the skills necessary to help. Perhaps we need to reverse them in a few generations with genetic science. In the meantime, keep yourself healthy. Drink your lemon tea, drink your goji berry tea, eat your omega-3, keep the fucker alive up here, keep this coconut alive. This bean-shaped thing is the bean. And let us begin our study for science, neurology science. Because, like I said, the hard drive here is getting full. I have to eventually go through the multiple media files to clean them out. Not edit them, but compress them. Really, I have to start compressing them, especially this guy here. This is a few megabytes worth of info at least. Get another hard drive. I'm gonna be getting it from the Canadian store Visions because I don't like Americans didn't like us a few years ago. Last year with the ketchup wars, the trade wars. So sure, I don't buy gasoline from American stores. Then I choose Shell or I choose Petrocan or I choose Canadian ketchup. The ketchup. I use Canadian stuff and we buy from a Canadian store, and hopefully Canada gets to the population necessary to start producing its own stuff. We're overwhelmed by America, of course, but China and Japan In close competition, we don't have a strong manufacturing base, and probably manufacture more. I probably manufacture more goo than products, but that's the way you build a nation. I'm also believing that I'm breathing these things in, and they go through my respiratory tract, the tracteria. I don't breathe through my mouth anymore, but I breathe. I try to breathe the cedar, but the cedar smell is gone. I mean, the smell of fresh pencils smells good, but these are at least 2 decades old pencils, and they've lost their scent. They still have some of their scent, especially when you open up the shaving case, but other than that, they don't have it. So let's begin our studies. I'm using it for our pens and pencils, and hopefully, science. Hopefully, UFC or no, after you will take me in, and I can continue my education there. Work for a few years, earn the money necessary to go back to school, stay in school, put towards my retirement, and also get a home and get a wife, and join the Navy to get more money, but also to march in the 70 parade. Okay, thank you for watching our show. Have a great day. I've done so many parades in Calgary. I've done the gay parades, the pride parades. I've done the pride parades many times. The novelty is wore off, but still, I mean, you still get a good view of the city, and the city is growing. We might reach 2 million in the next 20 years. Hope we have flying or self-automated cars by then. Perhaps I'm the last generation to have a self-drive car. So your kids in the future might have automated cars, or perhaps little floating, those floating orbs, those little floating spaceships. I'm donating $50 to what is it? Donating $50 to Stars. I'm going to be donating them some more because it's an obsolete service. This whole levels of technology is obsolescence. These computers are going obsolete. I don't know if this computer will be unobsolete in 5 years. I'm not sure if it makes it 5 years. I mean, this is not even one. This is like 1 in 3/4 alive. And this chair is 1 3/4 too. I nearly just paid mom off. The computer is definitely paid off by the end of this month. To mom, and then this computer is paid off. Already it's covered in encrusted grime and dust from the summer. So yeah, thank you for watching our show. We're gonna be right back. Hopefully we get some new technology soon, and the technology is implemented and gives you kids a new future. And Calgary is this quest. Before I forget, I mentioned a quest. So one of the quests I mentioned was trying to find the origins of my family name. Apparently there's somewhere there's a record keeper, somewhere there's a knowledge keeper in China who keeps all the genealogical information of our family, and some of us have gone back, some of us have not gone back. I got some bling if he wants to kind of entice him to come back and give us. And hopefully he gives me his account or someplace where I can give him more bling because he's a family member. He is the official record keeper of the Luke clan. Apparently, from what my dad said, we were from a descendant of a polygamous clan in China. Who a man, I'm gonna assume he was Mr. Bling or some kind of a really rich redneck or some kind of a higher up or patriarchal daigong or daimyo. If the daigong or tycoon is a big name, basically, big renown, big name. Calgary is a relatively small city. There are lots of big names here. The Big Four, for example. I don't know if you kids are going to continue living in Calgary after you've graduated, but I like living in Calgary. It's a good place. It's a good city. We've got nature, we've got abundance, and we're slowly developing into a city-state. A city-state, like I said, if you remember from your grade 6, Greek classes, grade 4, 5, 6 Greek classes, you learn about classical Greek culture in elementary school because they play such a pivotal role in our formulation of our culture, especially the laws and especially the principles of universal freedom. Although women weren't treated as equals as much. Women had limited rights, and I hope that in the future. That's why I'm donating to women's, especially Indigenous women or multicultural women, overseas and here in Canada as well. Is that the laws change, economies change, women are paid equal. Yeah, we want to create equal because they are citizens. So all my teachers, all my professors were women. Many of my doctors were women who took care of this body. That, for example, my thyroid doctor was a woman, and yeah. So that's what happens. So basically, this patriarch has this information in China. Like I said, the air's not clean in this house. I have to vacuum it in, unless we have a HEPA filter and stuff, or one of those Dr. Orkin air cleaners, but I doubt we have that, or do we have that? But like I said, these machines, these devices do exist, so maybe ionic house or air cleaner, I don't know. A humidifier, I don't know. But like I said, this patriarch has this information that I wrote in my paper that I would like to find out the family tree, insert this new information there, insert my new information there. Go back to ancient China. My parents did this. My dad and his uncle did this in the 70s. They went back. They had us, and that's about it. But now it's our turn to go back and insert our names into the halls of records. Also, to find out to repatriate the family poem. Because according to Asian, Korean/Chinese culture or Song Dynasty culture or whatever, however it goes, we need an anthropologist to answer that question. I'm not an anthropologist. I do take anthropology classes. Will take anthropology classes in UFC, but not now. What happens is that a bunch of ancient Luke scholars wrote a bunch of poems, and I don't know what the poem is about, but every line, every word in the correspondence of the poem represents a generation, and we are generation Sin, or Zin, or whatever, S-I-N. My brother's last name is Kaisin. I'm Gong Kixin, and I'm sure cousin Jenny and cousin Gagagu, cousin Peter have their middle names. But a lot of the Lukes settled in America, in California especially. Like I said, Uncle Luke is living in Arizona as a cardiologist, a cardiosurgeon. I could never do surgery. It's just too much thinking, and I have memory problems. That's why I write shit down. Once I write shit down, it goes to my brain, but that's time consuming and it erodes. Remember that time where I couldn't figure out the thalamus region of the brain, which is the coordinator of all your senses, all your lobes, and shoves it all there into the middle of the brain, and it shoves those middle of the brains go up to here where you're thinking, well, you can actually calculate, oh, this is cool, it tastes good, I love this food. Not yum food, good, ogre love food. Well, what kind of food do you like? Do you like pizza? Do you like ogre stew, which is cocaine beef stew? Me don't know. We would say me don't know. We wouldn't even say me don't know without this. This is why our pets can't talk to us saying, fuck you, human. The cat's going to go, your cat mouth, like that. Go, fuck off, human. If a cat knew how to speak fuck off human, he'll say, fuck your hero man, and give us the middle claw finger. And the little claw comes out, little middle finger claw comes out like that. Unfortunately, fortunately for us, cats don't know how to speak. Otherwise, they always say, "This is a gun, human. I can shoot you. You shoot me with a water gun. I shoot you with a real gun." So we're gonna try and repatriate this information so that for future generations, if I'm still fertile, I donated $50 to a fertility charity, which helps people have fertility, apply fertility, and hopefully I can access them in the future and have kids. I want kids. And you know what? Screw this whole thing of revenge. Spend the money on the kids and spend the money on living a nice home. If I can do that, then I can be happy. You know, before when I was single and a bachelor and younger, I used to think I want revenge on my bullies all the time, and no, I mean one of my things now is just being a YouTuber. I'm sure there's gonna be other videos where I'm just this is just the intro video where I'm just babbling on. Other videos are just me going study, read, and then just me like all you see is just here all my notes and all these pencils and just basically me. Just like any other study videos, ambient music and stuff, and just me studying for hours on end because I'm reading medical information, psychomedical information. Hopefully this computer will be alive by then, and hopefully this camera's probably the material. This camera's thinking, oh fuck, I just want to kill myself because he's videoing all my weird videos, you know, all my weird videos of me fixing my fan or fixing the what? Fixing the Power Max, Power. I mean, that's the glory of autism is you have your own personal world of things that you use to help control your mind, to help focus, help guide and direct all your thoughts into something rationally, humanly productive. And it's something that so-called neurotypicals or normies take for granted. And they say, why can't you be normal? Well, I can't be normal because I'm not normal. So I'm getting grungy in the stomach. I'm going to go down for some cans or some peanut butters. Hopefully, one of the things Mom gets me is those Campbell soups. Those one of each. It's gonna be tomato. It's gonna be vegetable. Gonna be noodles. It's gonna be mushroom. Hopefully, she takes me shopping one more time. So we get a bunch of growable foods. She usually leaves me healthy food. I usually eat the healthy food first, so it doesn't rot. And then I'm stuck. Not that I'm stuck with, but I binge the other kinds of foods. But I do know how to make fanke aoyok, so I'll make myself some fanke aoyok. My version of fanke aoyok is not the right version, not the mom's version. I have to learn her version. Maybe corn chicken. No, or maybe chicken. Maybe have chicken. Chicken slash soy sauce chicken stew. Make that myself too. And basically feed my gut flora some weird shit so that it keeps on staying happy for another year. Usually I eat healthy when she's home. I eat very unhealthy when she's not here. I call it my junk food binge. I'm going, my mom's not here. It's time for junk food binge. Time for corn pops. Time for ice cream. Time for lots and lots of bacon and waffles and eggs and bagel waffles. Oh God! And she goes. So she usually, hopefully, they go. And then I usually call in someone to fix the house because she doesn't really like to spend money to fix the house because it costs too much time when people are here. So I'm gonna try and get someone to keep our hot water tank alive because I really need that for. And I cut the furnace. I fixed the furnace last time. I think this time I'm gonna have someone come and maybe have one of those tuning up people to come and tune up the Dyson, the inside of the Dyson, get all the dirty gunk out. I can only do basic maintenance because I don't really want to take it apart because I don't know how. The Power Max was easy to clean because I was able to take that apart easily. Okay, so yeah, 134 minutes. This is going to eat up a lot of my time space on my hard drive. That's my hard drive, the D drive. So let's go down for some food because I'm getting grungy in the stomach. So eat very light food. And thank you for watching our show. We're gonna be right back. And things will have me lighting candles in the back or lighting candles right here, and just me studying. Yeah, I can do this. If I do that, if I move this here like this, if I go like this. If I step like this and just go, I can do that. Candles go here, yeah. Candles will go here. Mouse go here. Let me move the mouse in more this way. Textbook goes here. Mouse the candles will go here. Mouse goes here. And my notes will go here. Candles go up here. I'm not done because I'm gonna knock it over, but up here maybe, where it's safe away from my hand, because I know me. Move this calendar in so I don't burn anything. And oh, I found some flower seeds. Simply soak and sow. Forget-me-nots, 1.5 inch deep in fine soil, outdoors in a pot. Indoors in a pot. Oh, there's a funeral home fire. I think I got this from Kung Kung Papa's house. Let's do that. Because I'm getting kind of lonely in here. Let's move. Oh, where did I store those extra books though? Okay, new rule. We're going to try and move everything from the middle table to the side work tables, and use the middle table for flowers, and then flower pot, or maybe use my desk. Use the desk over here for storing the books in the middle. All my journals and stuff. Those are like empty notebooks. Use it for my journals and my projects. And then I put the camera up like this, and then just be studying, and then put the things here, and just be studying during the winter. Yeah, I can do that. And just play some ambient music in the background. One of those free baba boo boo royalty free musics, and just me studying away for hours and hours and hours on the live feed. Yeah, I can do it like that. And whenever I want to talk about stuff through my educational channels, and my thought channels, my philosophical channels, I just go like that. Okay, I can do it that way. And I plan to start posting my adventures on in StarCraft. I'm a very poor StarCraft player still. Had a really good game last night. It was really interesting. It was a player who was very smart enough to use all these weirdo anti-ground and anti-mines, and build a lot of mines, or anti-miners, or mines, and use those to just basically harass us all. But I actually learned how to kite, move around like dodge and dip and dodge. Duck. If you can duck, dip, dodge, and duck. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a dodgeball, a submarine. Oh, Whip Form, we're gonna miss you. And hopefully I can start writing and start being a rising figure in YouTube, or rising figure on StarCraft. And a lot of players like one-on-one players. I like teams. I can't find any one-on-one players actually. I can hardly find any one-on-one players at my level of. 2-on-1 was actually hard to find because I'm at such a low level. So you got to start winning, so you can apply. You got to start winning so you can actually qualify for other matches. other players have high matches, and I'm starting to move away from this loser group, this group that I was with for. Okay, so maybe I'll continue my studies, and then I'll be doing my online exam. Then I'll be doing my my reflection piece. Then I can start working on my bigger project. Then we'll start doing the big read, and hopefully I'll start showing you the sideways video of the big read until I get the plants online here. Get the plants online. I wonder if it's possible to actually create life on its own. But in the meantime, thank you for watching our show. We're gonna be right back. Thanks you.